What's up and good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another video. Now I gotta say, it's probably not a good day if we got the excavator up at the guest house. Now the gravel up here needs to get reconditioned. You can see some of the weeds and stuff growing through it, but we'll worry about that at a later date. We do have some big plans coming up here over at the ranch, so we'll discuss that in a later video. But let's jump into something pretty disgusting. So you guys harken back to when we did the guest house project, or we remodeled the guest house. We made some improvements, one of which being a new septic tank, because the original one that came with it was undersized. So we upgraded, and this is one of those situations where I didn't want to deal with it. I don't know what I'm doing, or didn't know what I was doing. So I hired a professional to come in and put in the larger septic tank. And well, as I have learned in the past, anytime I hire professionals and people that are recommended to me, I'm usually let down and disappointed. And there's definitely no exception here, as you can see with this nice swimming pool of poop behind me. So when that guy came and put the septic tank in, he came out on day one. I had already dug the hole for him, did the majority of the work. All he needed to do was set the tank in and connect it. And that's really gross. I see a giant frog floating in there right now. Or toad. That whole situation down there is gross. So he came out day one, put the tank in, got everything set up, and then he was supposed to come back to do my leash lines / infiltrators, put a riser on the tank so that the lid is not, 2 feet down below the surface. You put a riser on it, your lid is now up top. All fine and dandy, done. Guess what? The guy never ended up coming back. And really, I paid him to put the tank in. I didn't pay him for the infiltrators or for the riser for the lid or any of that yet. So it's not like I gave him all the money up front and then he split. But he never came back and just ghosted me. And I tried calling him for weeks and just ghosted me. So at that point I said, forget it. So at that point I said, forget it. We'll handle it from here. And we did. And for the first couple of years, things went well. And well, as you can see today, things are not going as so well. So about a year ago, or actually a little less than a year ago, my guest house tenants, my current tenants, were like, hey, we're having a little bit of sewer backup. We noticed when we ran the washing machine and it went to drain, there was like some backup in the shower, and that's pretty gross. Being the good landlord that I am, I jump on it immediately. So I call a septic company, and I'm like, man, it's just, the tank's gotta be full, right? I mean, it's been, I think, a couple of years at that point. Has to be full, let's just get it pumped. And it was. I mean, they popped the lid, and I mean, the imprint of the lid was in the poop. Like, that's how much the poop had worked its way up and all the solids had worked their way up. Now, what comes with a septic pump is you get a septic inspection. So he pumped it all out, inspected everything, says everything looks good, you are good to go. Call us back in a year though. Because the septic tank isn't huge, we're gonna recommend you pump this every year. Now, mind you, when we put this in, there was no laundry setup at the house. My last tenant, she worked in other people's houses, so she would just do her laundry at work. That was prior to her skipping out in the middle of the night, not paying rent, owing me a lot of money, but that's a whole story for a different time. The ones that live here now, absolutely fantastic. They have been great. So to make their life easier, again, we had it already kind of pre-plumbed to run laundry up here. So we ran the laundry, and they do a lot of laundry. So we needed to do new plumbing in this place for the kitchen sink and for the laundry setup. Kitchen sink being right here, laundry room being in the garage, which is over here. Now, to get the plumbing all the way to the septic tank, we either had to cut the slab out, which I didn't want to do, or we run it out here through the yard. That's what we ultimately ended up doing. So the plumbing comes down inside the wall there, and the reason we built this planter was because we wanted the plumbing it was going to be exterior plumbing, and I thought that was going to look ugly, so I built this nice little wall right here, which I think looks pretty good. Plumbing comes down, comes out here, shoots out that way, goes in the front of the house, ties into the septic. There's not a lot of fall from here to there. Now, when I talk about fall, I'm talking about the slope, right? To get the water from point A to point B. You gotta have enough slope, otherwise the water is just gonna stall out somewhere if it's flat and the pipe is perfectly level. And we barely made it with enough slope to get it all the way over here. So that water's not moving super fast, but somehow it's moving fast enough that if there's an issue with the septic tank right here, it turns back, goes uphill, and ends up showing itself in the shower inside the bathroom right there. That's no bueno. So when that happened last time, we pumped the septic tank down, everything was good, septic guy said everything's inspected, everything's great. A couple days later, tenants were doing a load of laundry, it did the exact same thing with an empty tank. So I'm like, man, there's gotta be a clog somewhere, and really, there's only one spot the clog can be, and that is right here. So we've got a clean out right here, as you guys can see. That's this line coming sideways from the laundry, right to there, comes a little further, then tees into the septic, which is right there. Now again, the shower is just right here on the other side of this wall. So the water has to come down, it's gonna have to go that way, but if it hits something right there, it's gonna back up and go that way. So really the only place a clog could be was right at the inlet of the septic. Well, I'm not sticking my hand down there, nor do I think anybody else is. And I tried to snake it from the shower, but you know, I got my little homeowner snake. I don't have a real man's snake. So because I didn't have a man snake, I called our friends over at Perry Plumbing. They came out, snaked everything, ran a camera down, and we found out that of course there was a clog right at the inlet line, because that's the only place a clog could be that would cause the issue that we were having. We got that clog popped through, and everything's been good for almost a year until the other day. Tenants were doing a load of laundry, noticed a little bit of water was starting to bubble up in the shower again, which means we got another problem. So this time I'm gonna not call the septic pumping company first, because even though they pumped it down last time, we still had a bigger issue being a clog. This time I called the plumbers first. So the plumber came out and we decided to dig up the lid. And as I was standing there, I'm like, man, I don't remember burying this lid. In fact, I left it open specifically because I was gonna go buy a riser at some point and put a riser on so we didn't have to dig down to find this thing anymore. Then I look at my tenant and he was like, oh yeah, I think I buried that. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. Just a little more work. We got to hand dig this thing up. So we started hand digging. And as I got down to about, 1.5 feet, 2 feet there, my shovel just went broop. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. And then water started to gurgle up. And I'm like, well, that's really not good. We shouldn't see water. This is a sealed system. And well, at that point I said I'm grabbing the excavator. So brought the Mini X up here because, well, why shovel when you own a Mini X? So I started to dig, opened up this pit, and then we realized the lid was completely destroyed and cracked. Nobody can drive right here. As you can see, it's not physically possible to get a vehicle in here. So it's not like somebody was driving over this or something like that, and that's what cracked the lid. The only thing I can think of, and I have no idea if this is what happened or not, is my tenant was backfilling this, decided to kind of, stomp on it a little bit to compact the dirt, maybe, and that's what broke the lid, which a lid you would think should be able to handle 500 pounds or something like that, but I guess not. We've got a cracked lid. That's already a problem. We assumed we had a clog. It was hard to tell though, because we've got a tank full of water. Do I need to pump the tank right now? I don't know. And we're not quite to that year mark that the septic company said I should be pumping this tank out. But when we were running all that water the other day and we were testing everything, we're running the shower for like an hour and a half, this pit started to fill up a little bit coming out of the tank. And as you can see, there's a decent amount of water sitting right there. Not saying my leach lines aren't doing their job, but that's a possibility. And what really hurts that is when you do a load of laundry and you send 20, 30, 40 gallons at a time to this thing, that might be leaching slower than it's gonna take to handle that much water. So I've been dreading doing this, but it was something I always talked about being able to do, and that is using the gray water from the laundry and just dumping that out into the yard, which is totally fine, legal, whatever. A lot of people use it for irrigation. I don't really need that out here. I've got sprinkler systems everywhere. I'm not trying to use that for irrigation. However, all I'm trying to do is ease up on that septic system, because again, they do a lot of laundry here. And I don't ever want this place to feel like you have restrictions. I don't want to be like, hey, you're living off grid, because we're not. Like, enjoy this place, live here. So inside here, we've got the laundry set up, don't worry. And yes, the garage is kind of a mess. They've been having one of the cats that showed up living in here, and apparently he is throwing some litter everywhere. They do got a lot of nice space though, now that we got the drywall out of here that we're using in the shed project. Now, in trying to think ahead with the plumber here, I said, hey, let's locate where that drain line comes through, because I can guess all day long. I can try to look back at pictures I took, but if I'm gonna dig this up, I wanna dig it up accurately and not waste a bunch of time. So I had him send his camera in and use his locator, and we found out that the pipe goes all the way there to all the way right there. I don't know if you guys can see that orange paint that turns back that way. Well, just my luck, I happen to have a giant pit right here that we opened up trying to take out this stump for the tree that got chopped down. And well, while we could just turn the water loose and let it just kind of trickle out that way, and maybe that's the right idea, I don't know. Or I put some gravel in this pit and then I just let the laundry water just kind of dissipate into the ground right here. And I don't think this tree's gonna grow back. It's been like this for quite a while. I don't see any new sprouts or anything like that. So I'm not worried about tree roots per se. I am worried about some other roots maybe climbing in there. I don't really know how this whole gray water thing works on how you keep roots out of the pipe, but I think we're gonna take it from here. We're gonna intercept it. run it over to here. We'll put a clean out, so if we ever need to get down and do some stuff, and then maybe just drop it down a foot or two into there, fill this pit up with gravel, and then call it a day, and hopefully alleviate any of our issues. Now, unfortunately, the septic company couldn't come out for a few days, so that's staying open until they come out to pump that, and then they are gonna put the riser and the new lid on for me. So unfortunately, I've told my tenants they can't do laundry until that happens because we don't wanna overrun that pit right there with water. We're gonna take the crew cab OBS. I need to get this flail mower unloaded and actually try this thing out on the Toro. See how this thing does. Hopefully she starts. I drove her the other day and should be good. I think the batteries are charging nice and back up. Oh yeah. Made a quick trip to Home Depot, decided might as well kill two birds with one stone. Got a bunch of lumber we're gonna need at the restaurant on Monday. Now you're probably noticing I went with two different size pipes. I was like, yeah dude, 2-inch pipe, that's what we're doing, 2-inch ABS. Then I looked at that and I was like, man, that looks kind of big. There's no way they used 1.5 inches, but maybe, and just in case, I bought 2 setups with all the fittings. But we made it back to the ranch. We're gonna jumpstart the mini truck. Henry, we hear you, brother, we hear you. Where are you? You must be right around this corner. Let's see. What's up, buddy? We hear you. If you guys want a good alarm system, Peacock, pretty dang good. Anytime something makes a loud noise, car door closes, some car pulls up or anything like that, Henry lets you know. You guys know I lost my no-code jump box. To this day, have not found it. It's on the property somewhere. So I went to go buy a new one, and I had the GB150, which was a 4,000 amp jump box. They no longer make that. Now the GB150 is a 3,000 amp, and I was like, well, more is better, right? I got a lot of diesel trucks that have 2 batteries, and so I want more amperage. So I went with the 4250, which is the GBX 155. There's a couple things I don't like about this. Number one is you have a 60-second timer from when you turn this thing on to, well, it's a little bit low, but it should be enough to jumpstart this. 60-second timer from when you hook it up, turn it on, to turn your key. If not, you have to come back, turn it on, turn it back off. I believe override mode overrides that. I'm not 100% sure. The second thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have the voltmeter, whereas the GB150, the old one and the new one, both have the voltmeter on it. So you pay more money, yes, you get more amperage, but you lose some features. Let's get this thing jump started, and it'll probably be now that I bought a replacement. I'll find my other one. See if she starts up the mini truck. I'm like, are we already past the 60 second? Ridiculous. Put it into override. All right. Huh. All right, maybe override. Oh, well, the battery's toast on this thing. Well, that's not good because we actually do need this to jumpstart the excavator. So we better go plug this in. Now, the good thing about this is, whereas my GB150 took like 12 to 24 hours, whatever it is, I feel like it took forever to charge. This thing supposedly charges in 5 hours, and I don't remember the exact specs, but I think it'll get us up enough within like an hour or two to jumpstart something. So we're gonna go plug this back in real quick, and hopefully it charges up quick enough because we really do need this. All right, so I'm impatient. I let it charge for a little bit. We are up to kind of 2 bars. I think that one's supposed to be orangey yellow when it's like actually fully 2 bars charged. Hopefully this is enough to jumpstart the excavator. That engine is tiny on that thing. It doesn't take a whole lot of power. Whoa, check that out. There's been a mouse on my seat. That's gross. Who found a straw or part of a straw? I've never seen a rodent in here. Apparently he went to town on this straw. I think this is one of those biodegradable straws. It's probably made out of some type of soy or something. I probably shouldn't be touching that mouse poop. And I have jumpstart lugs in my cart on Amazon. I need to just place the order. And I'm gonna drill 2 holes right here, put the lugs right there, and then all I gotta do is hook up the cables to the outside. Or, yes, I know, I could just buy a new battery, but for now, we're not. It's probably good enough ground right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all, I screwed up. Very sweet Starbucks sitting in there. I don't even remember when I had that. That explains the rat getting in here and eating. Now, back when we cut this tree down, we tried to take this stump out. I didn't have my sweet rock teeth, which are pretty worn down now, still way better than the teeth that I had on this thing. But obviously my E32, it ain't the biggest machine in the world, and it could not get that stump out. I mean, you see how far we dug down around her. And I always planned on trying again later, but I don't think this stump's coming out. This thing's a monster. Oh, it's actually kind of moving. Okay, maybe we try to take this out. we could get this out, y'all, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, we don't have a ton of movement, but we have movement, which is way more than we used to have. Now, I'm not saying for sure we're gonna get this, but we're getting it to move some more. I don't even know if my machine can pick this thing up out of the hole. It's got a lot of dirt attached to it. And I bet those roots in the center go down real far. I mean, like I said, this is like a 60 to 80 foot tree. But if you can wiggle them in the right spot, it's just like a tooth. You can eventually get it to break loose of all those roots. Really doing my best to not pull the excavator down into the hole. But those roots underneath the center are just so strong. And unless I like dig myself a road down into where I can pick underneath it, it's a little hard to do from up above. Oh, y'all, we might have it here. We might have it. I mean, we got her to roll over. That's good. That means we can get to the backside now and hopefully cut the rest of the roots out. This thing's gonna be heavy, y'all, when we go to pull it out of this hole. Let me tell you. But with a little patience and some ingenuity, we'll get her with the old E32. Woo, yeah, I don't know, y'all. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open a trench right here that I can pull this thing out with. I think that's gonna be our best bet. At least we're not trying to lift it as high as these side walls. Let's see if we can roll this thing out. I don't want to go too deep because that's going to kind of kill my idea of trying to contain some of this water. But maybe we're not rolling this thing up here. We're probably still pretty attached down there. Oh, she's coming. She's coming. Yeah. Yeah. All right, now we got to try to back up. Oh, she's not going to want to. Come on. Come on. I want to let it go. It's going to go back in the hole. I've kind of run out of boom there, though. Come on, back up, old girl. Come on. Come on. Actually, here, we can back up. We'll boom out a little bit. That'll give me a little more boom to pull her. She's going to come flying right at us, and we just got to hope she don't hit us. Oh yeah, don't go towards the fence. Don't go towards the fence, don't go back in the hole. Look at that, y'all. That's a heck of a root on that tooth right there we just pulled out. That's a good day. I did not think we were getting this thing out today. That was not in the plans, but I'm pretty excited about that. Get it, roll this thing up out the way. That's pretty big. We're just gonna put it over there for now. Eventually, we'll figure out how to get this to the burn pile. I could probably roll it into the back of the Diamond Sea dump trailer, but we're not gonna worry about that today. All right, we're gonna push some of this dirt back in the hole, just so we can get closer to where we need to dig. All right, so we've got this area pretty flattened out. Now we can reach over top. Obviously, we don't want to fill this pit in. I mean, we're probably gonna fill it in a little bit right now when we go to dig this, but our goal right now is to not hit this pipe. I probably should have had him figure out the depth for me, but I don't think we're super deep. So we're just gonna start chipping away here, and let's see what happens. See when we see some pipe. Well, y'all, came over to grab a shovel, and now you can see what the pit looks like filled up. So obviously overnight, during the day, whatever, it drains back down, but that is, yeah, I'm assuming a shower just happened in there. That's why it is filled up as much as it has. So maybe there is a problem with the leach field. Maybe the outlet to that thing is a little clogged, which could happen because it's full. Don't know. I'm no septic expert. Doing the best I can over here. We'll get that pumped down. So at this point, we've got to be close to wherever that pipe is. And again, we might not be anywhere near deep enough. And I re-broke this finger, so stabbing the shovel into hard dirt really feels fantastic right now. Now I've dug down about, I'd say about 4 feet or so to the bottom of this trench. We'll see if the camera adjusts. Now I definitely think 4 feet is too low considering we're going from 0 over there at the slab to the septic tank. There's no way we were 4 feet in the middle, but I wanted to dig deeper and then kind of ease my way in on the sidewalls. I noticed some gravel down here, and there's a little bit of gravel. You can see right at this elevation, there's a hole right here. So I wonder if this is about the height that we backfilled to. We have our lines marked right here, but it's really like 6 inches to a foot over is where I see that clean out down there. So we're probably right somewhere in line right here. And then again, we marked right there, which is where we're going through the backyard. So, I mean, we've got to be right here in this corner somewhere. So I'm going to keep picking at it with the shovel, see if we can find it. Well, the locator was pretty far off, but we finally found it. We've got the pipe right there, which is good. I mean, we were close. Now I hope that this line's actually accurate, but I think I'm going to chip a little bit of this out with the excavator. Smarter, not harder today. And then we'll fully expose it. Let's see, what are we about? We're about a little over 2 feet down there. So that's pretty good. We'll have a nice big pit here for it to all drain into. We're opened up, and that line we had perfectly. That's the return right there. And then let's see, where was our orange mark? Our orange mark was over here, but the pipe's over there. But you know what, guys, that's pretty dang close. I'm okay with that. And good news is it is actually 2-inch, which makes perfect sense. I don't know why. I got nervous, but it's better safe than sorry when I live all the way out here to just buy the extra stuff, return it later, and don't have to make a trip back into town if I got it wrong. So I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna cap that, but I forgot to buy a cap, so that's gonna happen later. And then we're gonna run this out. All right, so we're gonna use our pipe cutter here. Hopefully nothing gross comes out, but this hasn't been used in a couple of days, so let's go. We'll go right there. Oh, wait, I forgot. That is gonna be gross because we're higher over there. We're filled up. Yummy. Actually, it smells like laundry. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's definitely not poop water. That's a lot of water. I don't really want to touch it. It's definitely all laundry water. It smells fantastic. So we actually ran the camera up in this way, and there was no water in the pipe until I had them turn on some water inside of there while we were running the camera. That's the side that grosses me out. I hope we're not like siphoning from over there, but we're higher, or we should be higher. We'll get a good look at what it's gonna look like filling up with water over here. Oh, yep, now we got some toilet paper. That's gross. And we're starting to stink. We're really starting to stink. This is so gross. It's so gross. I never want to be a plumber. I will never. I hope to sweet baby Jesus, whatever happens in my life, I never have to become a plumber. I bet we're definitely bleeding down this hole over here though. Oh yeah, we've gone down a good bit. We've gone down probably 5 or 6 inches. Oh, our nasty toad he's floated up right there. It's so weird. I mean, technically this is uphill. I mean, it should be uphill. We checked the grade when we set this pipe in. And of course, the one thing I didn't get was a 2-inch cap. I'm sure I have one here, but good luck finding it when I need it. Good news is it kind of looks like our water's slowing down, but I gotta walk in this. Well, the Pooh River has kind of stopped. I do not want to jump in that hole, but oh, we gotta do what we gotta do, y'all. Let's get this out of there. I mean, we're probably gonna fill it with some dirt trying to do that, but we'll set that right there. Let's get a little bit of clean dirt on top of this nasty poop. It's still trickling a little bit, but I have a feeling I'm gonna be waiting forever for that to stop. All right, so we've got that's 1.5 inches. Where'd our 2-inch piece go for our clean out? There we go. Got a 2-inch piece for our clean out. I don't know if I should send it that way. I guess they can make that, I don't know. Which way would y'all clean it out? Would you clean it back out that way? But I guess we could do it from that side to here. And there is definitely a goat just walking on that block wall over there. Or do we do it this way so we can clean out that last little end if we need to? I'm gonna do it this way because we can always hit from the laundry side in to over here. All right, we're not doing good here at not contaminating ourselves. So So this is gonna go, I might as well just glue this up now. Tasty. Now by having this, when we go to put this on, we can determine what plumb is, or get plumb enough. Which way am I doing it? Oh yeah, we're doing it that way. We're doing it that way. Oh man, I got the wrong one. I got the one that needs a coupling. I'm an idiot. That's not gonna work very well. We might have gotten as far as we can go unless I can find a 2-inch coupling here, which I don't think I have those lying around. What's funny is I had another one and I put it back, or maybe I had one of these sweep long 90s that had the bell end and then it had the male end. I think they're called streets. I don't know. Not a plumber. But I returned this and I grabbed the double female. But apparently I was too stupid to do it with that. There we go. It looks pretty plumb. And then we got this little box. Oh no, don't go into poop. Don't go into poop. We gotta return you. Got this little box. It's gonna be the cover, so we don't lose where this clean out is. This will be the clean out. We'll cut that right about ground level, a little below ground level. We'll use this to determine where that is. About yonder. We'll go a little lower. I love this tool. There we go. And we'll have us a clean out here if we ever need to clean this last little leg out. Now, should I have done it that way? Who knows? Probably. Look at all these donkey ears sticking up over the wall. Well, y'all, I think I found the source of all that water that was in there. That wasn't in there when we started this. I just happened to go to the guest house garage because I was trying to see if I had a 2-inch coupling in there, and I noticed the dryer was on. And there's only one reason to turn that dryer on, and that's if you just did a load of laundry, even though I told them we can't do laundry until the septic gets pumped. So I think the reason we had so much water in there and why it smelled so fresh when it first started coming out is because she did a load of laundry when she wasn't supposed to. But let's see, we got a toolbox over here, and somewhere I'm gonna have a 2-inch ABS coupling. Watch out though, it is snake season. So we don't wanna find any snakes the hard way. There's gotta be a 2-inch coupling in this old toolbox or somewhere. It's one of those things you always buy extra of on a job. What is that, inch and a half? Inch and a half. And then you leave them in the box for days like this when you're gonna need them. I'll get down here, another inch and a half. Another inch and a half, about an inch and a half. Yes guys, this toolbox is a mess. I haven't used this thing in years. Well y'all, yesterday I decided just to quit until I got the right fittings. So we've got our 2-inch coupling, we've got our 2-inch cap, and check this out, dude. It's like $3 for that coupling. It was $11 at Home Depot today for a 2-inch ABS cap. That's crazy. And it ain't a tariff. She made in the USA. Let's go take a peek over here though at our hole and see if we've got any more water down in there if we dried up. Oh yeah, looks like we soaked in pretty good. No more doo-doo water on us today. At least not yet. So let's get down in there. We're gonna cap the sewer side, and then we'll get our stubbed out piece over here, throw our 90 on, and call it good. Try to not drop anything. Oh yeah, that's the gross one right there. Seal that up. Okay. Take our long piece of 2-inch. Oh, that's doo-doo water. Don't stick your hand in that, Ryan. You dummy. Oh yeah, we gotta go wash that hand. All right, well, I got some freshly washed hands here. And we're gonna do what I should have done from the beginning. Put some gloves on. Let's go see how our pit looks. See if there's any water sitting in over here. All right, not bad. Oh, the toad has made his way out. So we're capped there, good there. Let's make sure we got fall. I mean, it's pretty obvious we have fall. We want to make sure we support the pipe though with some doo-doo water. These boots are gonna be gross after this. Get some little dirt up underneath the pipe. I think I just want to go to about there and turn it down. Now I've thought about how I'm gonna keep things from going up inside of here, like rodents and stuff. They make check valves for sewers. They're hard to find in a 2-inch, and mainly they're meant for a sump pump that's like down in a basement that has to pump the water up, and it keeps the water from coming back through down this way. And I was thinking about putting one of those horizontally here, so when there's water flowing, it wants to go out, the valve's open. When there's no water, the valve's closed. That way no like mice or anything are gonna climb up in here, but I don't know if that's actually a concern or not. Maybe it is. It's kind of the reason I liked tying all of this into the septic over there, is because I like a sealed system as opposed to an open system. But I guess at the end of the day, with a septic, you have your infiltrators. They can get in through the leach lines and they can do their thing, but whatever. We're just gonna 90 down. And I don't really wanna go too low with this thing. I'd like to suspend this up in the air, fill it with gravel. That way, if we ever gotta dig it out, we don't have to dig all the way down 2 feet into the gravel. Having this higher up, I think, is gonna be better than if I ran a pipe all the way down to the ground. So let's just cut that about right there. There we go. There we go. We got a nice spot for some gravel to go. All of that will get backfilled with dirt. Obviously, we've had the dirt there, but before we do that, I want to run a little test. And let's go fire up the washing machine and do a little test run here. I hate how these all take forever. Express wash, whatever. Let's try that. Okay, well, while we wait for that laundry cycle to do its thing, we can start backfilling over there. We can backfill up there. And then we got to go grab my tractor, which still has a broken box blade. We're gonna have to use a ratchet strap to try to get the box blade up in the air, so I can grab me a couple of shovelfuls, or a couple of bucketfuls, I should say, of gravel to put right there. And the reason, obviously, I want gravel is because the water can trickle through it without eroding away. Like when you saw this big poop stream come out yesterday, it just sort of completely eroded away right there. We don't want that. So the more gravel we have, it's not going to erode away and end up creating a sinkhole. Y'all don't know how happy I am to finally have that stump out, though. I've been staring at this mound of dirt around this stump for a long time. Before we go any further, I feel like I should just bring the gravel over, and I want to go do that right now, but I know that's going to take a minute, and I'm going to be so pissed if I miss the first waterfall coming into this pit. I really want to see how much water comes out as well. Alrighty, guys, I guess our patience paid off. Here we go. Our first cycle there, draining out. Now I know most of these new washers are high efficiency, which just means it takes 7 times as long to do not really as great a job. But also I believe they use a little bit less water. But you can see though, this is just a quick rinse cycle and we still got a decent amount of water coming out. And we're still going, which enough of those loads into a septic tank. That's a good amount of water. And we got the last little bits coming through there. Now, unfortunately, to do this, we're gonna have to poach some gravel off the driveway, which I think I've been hinting at. We have some plans coming up pretty soon, and this area might be a part of those plans. I know you can't mate with a guinea hen. I mean, I appreciate the hustle, you trying, but you can't. All right, let's go see what we can do about my poor tractor. Just worry about getting us a good tie down point up high. Now, if I wasn't being super lazy, I could just take this off, but I really don't like to do that. We're gonna see, maybe this is strong enough right here. The bracket looks pretty stout. Yeah, good luck. Well, that stout bracket wasn't very stout. That didn't last long. That thing just buckled right there. See what happens if we come up on this thing, if we catch this strap to the back of the head. I guess we'll give in, we'll pull these pins, which again is kind of a pain. That poor bracket did not survive. Well, I hate to say this, but I think we're going to give up on that. Just comes down to one of those, how much do you want to fight it? And without having the top link there to take a little tension off these bottom ones, it's going to take a punch and a pretty big hammer to knock those pins out. And I don't really want to fight it right now. But lucky us, we've got an excavator. It's going to be a lot slower, but we're going to make it work. Now, if y'all remember back when I first bought the ranch, the first piece of equipment I bought was that excavator right there. And everybody thought I was crazy for not buying a skid steer. And well, as a kid, I've always wanted a E32 Bobcat. So as soon as I can afford one and had the land to justify it, that's what I bought first. And man, we used to do a lot. I mean, we graded out all the roads on the property. We graded out the main road coming into all the neighbors' property. I brush cut with that thing. I've done all kinds of stuff with that Mini X right there. So, you know, we can move a little bit of gravel. Now, the only issue is that layer of gravel right there is real thin. So we're gonna try to churn some up. Obviously now we gotta work closer here. I can't go grab a spot that's a little bit thicker. I mean, I could, but we're gonna be here for hours. But hey, we got air conditioning, we got a radio. It ain't a bad day, brother. That area looks a little thick. We'll grab it from right here. We'll go to that side. I'm gonna push some of it this way. Trying not to grab any dirt. It's hard without a smooth bucket. We're gonna need so much gravel. Scoop number 1, 50 more to go. Gravel is all in, and I think we're doing pretty good here. I went over top, so it might make it a little harder for rodents to get in there if they really wanted to. Again, I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not. Now that we have enough gravel all the way down to the bottom of the pit, I've been throwing a little bit of dirt over here just so we don't have to like fill this whole area with gravel, because the excavator technique, that would take a long time. But I think we've got more than enough down here. Now we can go ahead and just finish our backfill. We'll make sure we put our little clean out lid in. So before we go too far, alrighty, y'all. Well, we are all graded out, and while this is an expensive endeavor, pumping that tank is pretty freaking pricey out here. Guess down in the comment section how much you guys think it is to pump the smaller septic over here on the guest house. And whoever gets closest, I'm gonna give you a free work for it lanyard. But probably the best thing to come from all of this is the fact that there's no longer a giant stump there and a giant pit around it. We'll deal with that monster later. We'll probably let it dry out for a little bit, and then we can chip some of the dirt off and all of that. But that has been a giant eyesore since we took that tree down, so I'm happy to finally have that gone. You know, not my favorite work. I don't enjoy dealing with poop. Glad that there are people that chose that as a career to keep this world turning. Tomorrow that tank gets pumped. We should have a new riser on, I think the next day, and a lid. Maybe they're doing it the same day. They made it seem like they're doing it the same day, but it's apparently two different sets of people that do that. But hopefully that little modification we did buys us a lot more time between pumpings on that septic. We shall see. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that we do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Somewhere right there. There you go. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.